any action, 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 any
Sportscast. I'm your producer Martin, joined by your local Las Vegas handicappers, Effie.
What is up, guys? Back again. Any Action Sportscast here to recap UFC Lewis versus Daukaus. Also, Woodley versus Paul. I mean, I'm just so pumped to talk about it. Chop it up with my boy here, producer Martin, on the ones and twos.
Yes, sir.
Dude, man, I'm just so pumped to talk about these fights. Our bets, it was a good night, to say the least, man. What do you think? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I mean, back with another recap, another episode. This one was a good one. It was the last card of the year, and I think it played its part.
Dude, just the overall last Saturday night of fights, you couldn't have asked for more, man. But yeah, man, it was just exciting. You had underdogs. Underdogs were out and about on the UFC card for sure. And then obviously you guys all know what happened with Tyron Woodley and Jake Paul by now. We'll get into it. We'll break down the card. But to start, I guess we should just break down the UFC fight card, right, Martin?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when the next season comes, I'm going to be much more up on the cards. But I caught on late. I caught glimpses of each fight, but I know once the main card started, I got all those. But why don't you go take it over, and I'll chime in once I let you know.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel like, man, I get it. We all work, right? But, yeah, to start the night off on the UFC card, we had Jourdain Leavitt versus Matt Sayles. And Jourdain Leavitt gets an inverted triangle finish. I think it was the second round. Yeah, it was. And, guys, like we said on the podcast, his grappling is for real. Like, well, overall, both grapplers are for real in that fight. And on Leavitt, got the upper hand. Martin, this was a pretty interesting fight for us. Our homie was actually cornering Jourdain.
Now, isn't that crazy? It just hits different. That's crazy.
Right.
Shane Shapiro, who wrestled on the UFC Invitational.
Right. Shout out to UFC Fight Pass for putting that on. Shane Shapiro submitted Bobby Green. I think within like 65 seconds. It was awesome. A clinic, one would say. But man, shout out to Shane and shout out to Jourdain Leavitt. Shout out to Syndicate MMA here in Vegas. They got the finish. Just a great start to the card, man. I always love when a card starts with a finish. And also, really a rare finish. Inverted triangle, you don't really see that that often. When I saw it live, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, damn, I didn't even see what he was tapping for. But then, obviously, these jiu-jitsu guys are just out of this world. But great start to the card. Next fight was a heavyweight fight. Shout out to Dontel Mays. He won. This fight, I don't know if you saw Martin on Twitter. He was, like, humping his face with this cup. Did you see this? Oh, man, you guys got to look it up. It was just one of those. He was 69ing him with this cup. And the ref had to come like, hey, man, you can't do that. Like, that's an illegal move. And I was like, oh, fuck. The heavyweights out here breaking up new moves. After that, we had Raquel Pennington, dude. She looked good. Her striking looked on point. She looked strong, man. She doesn't lose to up-and-comers. She loses to only the top-notch fighters in her division. So it's going to be tough to beat Rocky, man. Shout out to her. It was a pretty good line if you guys would have bet on it. Shout out to anyone out there that did. Man, the favorite comes through. She looked good, man. Nothing bad to say about her performance. Absolutely phenomenal. Good job, for sure. Next was a fight where, Mark, have you ever seen the movie 300?
Yeah, of course.
Well, Charles Jourdain went full 300 Sparta kick on Andre Ewell to end the fight. It was a good scrap, actually. I mean, Jourdain kind of actually won every round, like kind of dominated in my opinion. But as far as action, it was a good fight to watch, for sure. At one point, Jourdain was backing him down on the one-inch track against the cage and just like put his hands down and screamed at him. And I was just like, what the hell? But yeah, exciting fight. Like we said earlier, last podcast, sleeper for fight of the night. Shout out to Charles Jourdain, the Canadian, gets it done. Yeah, the Sparta kick was pretty funny to watch live, dude. After that, we had actual, if you guys follow us on Twitter at @AnyAction_, you guys could have seen that we bet Melissa Gatto live before the fight starts against Sijara Eubanks. She was plus, I think, 165 at the time. And she comes through, guys. Underdog cashes.
I like live betting. He just hits different. Then he's like, hey, put it in right now. I lost a few light bets. I think Cody Garber and I took him KO last minute.
No, man, you're right. It is. I think it came up later with the Lemos Angela Hill fight where because the odds vary so bad, you can get a person that's minus 300 before the fight, and then third round they're even money, and so you look for those spots for sure. But in this scenario, we hit it pre-fight. Gatto gets it done. She gets a body kick finish. And if you watch the fight, the announcers think it's a groin shot, and I thought it was funny, like a nut shot, but it was a women's fight, so obviously it wasn't a nut shot. But dude, body kick, liver shot, sits her down. Underdog cashes to start the night. First bet on the night, kind of foreshadowing for how the night went, man. Plus 165, she hit. Man, after that was Justin Tafa versus Henry Hunsucker. Dude, now this fight, Justin Tafa made history. He was the first ever heavyweight to miss weight.
Dude, how can you miss weight?
I didn't even know you could.
So what's the cap limit on heavyweight then? Is it 240, 270?
Higher. 260. Well, lower than
265?
265 on the dot.
He missed it.
He went in at 266.
A pound over?
Dude.
Oh my gosh, dude.
He didn't have half an hour to go in the sauna or something. I don't know what the hell, like COVID. I don't know what. That's hilarious to me that he missed weight as a heavyweight. Like I said, I didn't even know you could do that.
That's a bot move.
I didn't even know you could do that.
That is a bot.
And so, guys, the actual fight itself, I believe we talked about on the pod how under 1.5 minus 160 was a pretty good parlay piece. And what we recommended on the fight was if you could get a fight doesn't go the distance to take it. And the fight ended in like 5 seconds. Well, to be more accurate, about a minute, 60 seconds. Justin Tafa head kick knocks out Henry Hunsucker. And if you watch the highlight, the replay, Martin, he blocks the kick. Like, he puts both his arms up and blocks the kick, and he just hits him through his guard and knocks him out, bro. Like,
that's that swing and bang power when we're talking about these heavyweights.
Exactly, man. It was awesome to watch. But when we didn't have any action, we kind of leaned that under, but we didn't have any bets in on that one. But it was just, exciting finish to see for sure. But Martin, the next fight was our first fight with action. Gerald Meerschaert versus Dustin Stoltzfus. Did you see any of this?
I don't think so. I caught a glimpse of this one too.
We had Gerald Meerschaert, I think minus 230, if I'm correct. And we predicted on the pod him via submission round 2. And he ended up getting it round 3. But, man, it was not looking good. He looked gassed. He was just shooting submissions off his back to try to get a Hail Mary, and he got it, man. I was so happy because as a bettor, there's nothing worse than going even one round to one round into going into round 3, and your fighter is the fighter that's more tired. That's what was happening in this fight, but our fighter was just a better fighter on the ground, and it showed when he got the submission in the 3rd round. Dude, shout out to Gerald Meerschaert. 3-fight winning streak. I mean, my heart was racing during that fight, dude, because how bad he looked. After that, Cub Swanson versus Darren Elkins. So far tonight, we're 2-0. We have 1 or 2 bets. But this fight, we had it 2 ways. We had Cub Swanson via decision and Cub Swanson over 1.5 rounds. And we lost both because Cub Swanson decided to come out and look amazing and just beat the shit out of Darren Elkins, man. Did you catch this?
Yeah, this was one where I caught on. This Swanson coming out like he's... I told you earlier on the last show, I love Cub Swanson. He's like a fan favorite. He draws the attention. And money line wise, it was like minus 200 and something. I mean, that wasn't bad to take, for a couple units.
Dude, live, or not live, but like, so if you guys track the lines, I think on the pod when we record, he was minus 230. But before the fight started, he was minus 165. And so to me, it could be a red flag. Someone knows something. The markets know something. A ton of money is coming in on the other side. So, maybe injury or something that wasn't announced. Or you could be like, oh, there's a ton of value now on Cub. This is, a more reasonable price. I'll take it. But we stayed with the decision prop, and he comes out and just looked amazing. He actually had his family ringside. Or octagon side. He had his wife and his kids. And I thought that was interesting because of all sports to have your family watch live, like front row is you fighting like aggressive, like getting damage done. I was just like, wow, dude. Like, shout out to
Nate
Cub
Diaz
Swanson.
said it. Get this. A lot of people don't know this. Did you know Nate Diaz is his dad?
No, I didn't know that.
Exactly.
I didn't
So
know
he
that.
doesn't like to talk about it. A reporter asked him one time. He shut him down quick. He said, "Kids don't belong in this sport." Next question. Kids don't.
Like, why? Yeah, dude, no.
Yeah, so
It's,
he's got a
I
baby
thought,
mama,
I
dog.
thought it was surprising, man. They showed him. I'm talking about, like, you know where Dana White sits? Like, they were right there, like, close as you could be, like, by cameramen and stuff. But then he knocks out the other dude, Darren Elkins, viciously. And so I was like, oh, that was awesome. They're probably super happy they were there then. Like, well, good for him, man. But yeah, Cub Swanson via KO, freaking wheel kick. They don't see that too often. He was out on his feet. Herb Dean had to come in and stop the fight. We lost both bets, but one of those times where I was like, dude, did not see that coming. No one saw that coming, really. Cub Swanson just looked amazing. He literally was 5 years younger than he was. Something that Wonder Boy Thompson wish he could have done.
He's 38, right? That's
Yeah,
pretty
he's
old for
pretty-
a fighter.
Pretty old,
But
dude.
that's your time of. It's that age too is it's all or nothing. So they've got between that and 41 to do their time, and it's over.
Dude, that brings us to the lock of the night. Matuis Gamrot versus Diego Ferreira. Man, we're 2-0 in our lock of the nights, Martin. Feels good.
Hey, we're keeping the house, baby. We're keeping the house.
I mean, okay, so let's talk about the fight itself. Matuis Gamrot comes out, and Ferreira had, to me, a little bit of a speed advantage, but Matuis, man, he was pressuring the whole time. And they started to play out throughout the fight where Matuis would be able to get him down. Matuis would throw a strike, 1-2, to get in close range, get it, shoot a takedown, he would get it. But Ferreira was not getting held down. I was super impressed with his ability to scramble, his ability to get to his feet and get up. Every single time, there was not one takedown where he got taken down, except for the one that led to the finish, where he stayed down. He got up every single time, and to me, that had me a little bit worried because I thought he would have a little more. Gamrot would have a little more success on the ground, but and it showed me that since he was able to get it down so easily, he felt confident. And so after the first round, we go into the second round, and same thing. He's chasing him, getting takedowns, getting up, getting takedowns, getting up. Gamrot's starting to slow down. He's starting to gas a little bit, and so I'm a little worried. I have it 2-0 after 2 rounds, so now Gamrot, all he needs to do is not get knocked out, and he ends up finishing Diego Ferreira to cash our lock of the night, dude. Matuis Gamrot, -190. Lock of the night hits. Couldn't be more happy. At that point of the night, I was through the roof. Just shout out to Poland. Yeah, man. Feels good to hit the lock of the night. Like I said, that's one of the bets where I really want to hit the most for you guys and really put our reputation as a podcast on the line, dude.
I know, it feels good to hit the lock of the night. I mean, talk about literally screaming when it hits and your bets are going accordingly. It just feels good.
And he was on a parlay piece for us. So, it's good to have the first leg hit. By the way, we have to mention Raoni Barcelos' fight got canceled for COVID. And so he was on a parlay too. So, but, when a fight gets canceled, it just becomes like a push, So we'll see that fight later, though, in January.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it sucks. But next fight, dude. Ricky Simone versus Raphael Assuncao. Now, we had action on this fight. We had Ricky Simone via decision, and he goes out and knocks out Raphael Assuncao, finishes him TKO. It was a pretty dominant showing, man. It was night and day. He just walked right through him. There's nothing else to say. He broke into the top 15 like we predicted, but we wanted a decision there, and he got the finish. What can he do?
Cool character. Cool. You see his hair?
Yeah, he's got that mullet and the long hair going.
Yeah.
Fighting at a ATT Portland. The dude's a beast, man. He mauls people for sure. He has some legit wins on his resume, I should say. And I think he's something to watch out for. Did you see his post-fight press conference about Sean O'Malley?
No. What do you say?
I think Bisping asked him, like, do you have anyone to call out? Like, and then I think he brought up, like, Sean O'Malley. And he goes, bro, I'm not going to bully this kid into fighting me.
Oh, wow.
And so I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, man, shout out to Ricky Simone. Lost the bet, but I mean, what can you say? The guy came out and dominated, just like Cub Swanson. We did not see that coming. I thought decision on both fights. We thought decision on both fights. And they come out and finish the guy. So, gotta tip your hat, you know? After that, we had action on this fight. Martin, this is actually the second leg of something you had later. We'll foreshadow a parlay. But Amanda Lemos versus Angela Hill. Now, this fight is controversial, guys. The decision was controversial. It ends up getting... And Amanda Lemos ends up winning the decision over Angela Hill. But a lot of people thought Angela Hill won, dude. What'd you think?
No, Lemos won. It could be one of those things where even if they gave it to Hill, I wouldn't argue or be like, what? Well, BS, right? It could be like, I mean, you left it to the judges. But Lemos won.
I had it 1 round to 1 round after 2 rounds. So the third round, beating the deciding round. And I actually got a couple of texts from my buddies like, what do you think about this? Can you give me your opinion on the live bet? Like, who do you think is going to win here? I said, I think there's a little value on Lemos. She was the underdog, actually, going into round 3. And I remember it was a back and forth third round, but, dude, do you remember Angela kind of, like, clips her a little bit toward the end of the third round?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was going to steal her the round. Turns out it didn't. And a judge ended up giving all 3 rounds to Lemos, which I don't know how is that even possible. But, yeah.
It's because... Are the judges watching from a TV screen? Do you know that, or are they like right in the octagon?
I think they're no monitor, just looking like through the fence, and I think they're spread out. There's like 1, 2, and 3. They're not all sitting next to each other.
Oh, okay.
And so,
because if you're not watching on screen, I mean, you're watching a different fight.
Dude, 100%, bro. Do you know how many pillars there are? Like those 8 posts. Like people get in the way. Like. You're not gonna see everything. And the John Anik and Rogan in DC, the broadcasters, they've mentioned before where there's times where you can block a shot, but it sounds like it hit. And for the judges, they can't tell because like they're not seeing the monitor, like how you said. Like if to me, they should see the monitor, but then
in boxing, they're like literally on the floor of the boxing ring,
exactly
looking in.
Exactly. That's what they are. Yeah, exactly. That's what they're doing in MMA. And to me, though, if they were able to like take off the stats that come up, like strikes so far throughout the fight or like live odds, like I don't think judges should see that.
But you know what? That's part of the sport. It's the judges are part of the sport. I mean, it'd be like football. Football was basically basically ran on just video replay. It would be ran different. It would be ran like how it should be. Like it'd be playing by the rules. But sometimes it's kind of cool if like the refs don't see something. It's part of the game.
Martin, it's part of the human nature, you would say, right?
Yeah.
There's a big discussion in Major League Baseball to have robot umpires behind the plate. And people are like, well, no, fuck that, because you need the human element.
Because what if they did judging like this? It would be boring. Let's say they ran the fight. Then they gave the judges 10. There's like a 5 to 10 minute intermission where they're watching the videos play by play, slow motion, counting the strikes, literally getting it exactly. It would be kind of boring.
Yeah, no,
that's how it should be, but it just wouldn't hit right.
And that's the thing, Martin. When it's actually
eyeing it out.
If you go back and look at the actual fight metrics versus the stats that they pull up on the screen when you watch a UFC fight, they're always different. Like if you go and look at Colby Usman total strikes, like in the actual fight metrics stats versus the stats that they showed during the fight, it's completely different. And it's hard, dude. Like how can you calculate what it was a strike, what's not a strike, what went through a guard, what was partially blocked, what was fully blocked? Like it's hard, man. And so yeah, judges for sure have a tough job, but yeah, I'm pro judge. Like, I'm pro. Don't go to computer judging. Now, dude, this is where the night got interesting, man. We were chilling on the Discord, hanging out with the homies, and Belal Muhammad fights Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Going into this, if you watched last week's episode, you would have known producer Martin, was on Belal.
I was all over Belal. I loved it. I mean, I was obsessed with that pick. It was great. And you said earlier, don't you love it when the bookies get it wrong, when the bookmakers get the odds wrong? And I was all over it. I mean, you even warned me though. You said, hey, be careful. He's a stretch. He's fighting Wonder Boy here. But He's just really dominant right now.
What gave you that read, by the way? Like, what gave you that? Like, you know what?
Man,
I'll put my money on him.
Because of Wonder Boy's last performance and because of how I see how he takes training and then Belal too. I mean, was he on a 7-win streak? What is he on right now? Besides getting disqualified for the eye poke, but I mean, wasn't he on a 7?
Right, correct. He in his last 12 fights, he's lost 1 time.
Man, he's just on top of his game right now, and that's something that I like to keep key when I make bets is that person on his game right now. He's just on his game.
He's ascending. In other words, he's ascending versus Thompson descending in his career.
Yeah, but I don't like how he said, like, look what I did to Wonder Boy. Yeah, you didn't do that to Prime Wonder Boy. You know, you did it to just enough to get the job done, Wonder Boy. You know what I mean?
Very true.
So, but feed Wonder Boy to the Sharks. You know, let the people suck his clout up to build up these up-and-coming fighters. But I think Wonder Boy's done, dude. I don't see him getting another win. He either gets cut.
Oh,
but
wow.
there's no championship run
hot take.
for him.
Hot take. Here we go.
There's no championship run for this guy. I mean, he's just
I agree.
Where's my check? And then where's my glass of wine? Wonder Boy.
Oh, man, you're ruthless, dude. So, man, can't be more impressed, dude. We said on the pod.
Dude, and he dominated that fight. He didn't just win
30-25.
30-25.
30-25, 30-26, guys. Guys, if you win every single round, it's 30-27. That means he had to win 2 rounds 10-8. Like, that's domination, dude. Like,
dominated, man.
And, guys,
not the same Wonder Boy.
Martin, did I not, when the second round was, like, starting and he got the body lock and he took him down, did I not say this fight's over?
Yeah.
I said, I've seen enough. This fight is not going to change. This is going to happen over and over again. Like, he's not stopping him. But, guys, we said on Any Action Sportcast last week, Gilbert Burns beat Stephen Thompson so badly that he might have laid a blueprint for the future opponents. And that's exactly what Belal Muhammad did, but he did it to a better extent. He actually landed the ground and pound. Dude, he had him flatland in the first round. I would have been any other ref other than Herb Dean who like wants to see guys get fucked up. Like, he was, dude, sprawled out, hands over his head, just 1-2, 1-2, like a sparring bag, bro. And, you know, he gets saved by the bell, makes it to the next round, rinse and repeat. Now he's in the top 5. Belal's in the top 5. But, man, what a performance. Shout out to Belal. I don't understand the hate he gets on MMA Twitter, but you guys are some suckers because he's here and like he's gonna get big fights.
Money was going down on him too as the week went on, so I mean, people were taking him. It was just a nice pick, man. I like those picks.
Dude, it's like Kenny Florian said. Like, it's when you fight Wonder Boy, yeah, no shit, you have to get him down. It's like, dude, doing it is way different. Like, that's why I love there's a closer in for the Yankees.
The only time Wonder Boy was winning that fight was when they were standing up, and it's when he got a few leg front kicks. You know what I mean?
Did he get punched? I don't think he got punched. I don't think Belal got punched once.
Well, maybe if you count it when they were both on the ground, like punching each other under the head. Do you remember that when they were on the ground?
He was like going up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But dude, guys, like I said, like it's one thing to know, like, oh, I have to do this, but then to go do it the level that he did, you gotta give him praise because, I mean, guys, that was next level, and he's due for a big fight. And what's funny about this is that he came out the fight injury prone, so I mean injury free, and so now, dude, anyone falls out, Jorge doesn't want to fight Colby, Gilbert doesn't want to fight Leon, whatever, blah blah blah. He's probably gonna get a big fight, dude. So I'm pumped. Plus,
definitely,
what was it? Plus 180, plus 185. What was it?
Yeah, it was like started around plus 185. Definitely a fighter to look out for the next year coming. I mean, definitely a top contender. If he doesn't see Usman next year, I don't know, but he's got to meet Usman next year eventually.
Think about it. Already fought Jorge twice, fought Colby twice. If he fights Leon, that's gonna be the second time fighting Leon. He's already fought Gilbert once. It's time for some fresh blood. Belal might be.
Yeah, what is this? The iPhone scam here going on? They're giving us the same thing, different fight. You know what I mean? It's like
it's the update, the Apple update.
We've already seen those fights before. Give them something. We want to see something fresh. I definitely agree. I don't want. Some fights I get it's a business. Like I want to see Jorge Masvidal Usman 3. I just want to see it. I want to see him get knocked out. I want to see.
Let's say you don't like Jorge or something.
No, I get why they make certain fights. It is part of the
business.
It's just like
yeah, for sure.
Khamzat Chimaev.
Yeah, we'll talk about him. Don't worry. Yeah, we'll
do.
At the end of the show, we're gonna do something where don't worry, we will talk about Khamzat Chimaev for sure. Oh, I'm actually surprised he didn't call him out post fight, like on the mic with Bisping. But that brings us, man. Oh, swing and bang, baby.
Swing and bang. I told you, baby.
Derrick Lewis
Go,
versus
baby.
Chris Daukaus. Heavyweight main event, UFC Apex. Now, before we get into the fight, Martin, so I think you brought up while we were talking during the fights, like, why doesn't the UFC like build their own like arena, blah blah blah? Like, wouldn't they be smart? And that's kind of what they already have at the Apex. But I want to ask you, did you know that the UFC Apex cage is smaller than the actual pay-per-view cage? Like, if they go to T-Mobile, that cage is bigger than the one that they use at the Apex.
I did know that, and that kind of makes the sport, I think, low-key, we don't even see it subconsciously, that kind of makes the sport more unique. Like, look at the other organizations. They don't got it like this. Like, it makes you think different. Like, oh, this is going to be at the Apex. Oh, this is going to be in the Octagon. You're putting 2 heavyweights in the Apex. Should that even be allowed? Like, that's a small... Stipe doesn't like the Apex. He didn't even want to fight Ngannou at the Apex. They had no choice. He doesn't like it. He likes... It is different, you know, because you're able to move around the ring more, but when you're getting backed up cornered in the Apex, it's not much space to run, and especially when Derrick Lewis is swinging and banging on you.
Oh my God, Mark! I couldn't agree more, dude. Stipe got absolutely killed by Ngannou for that exact reason. Not that reason, but like obviously it didn't fucking help. I heard, who was it? Josh Thompson talking
But look
about
at it like this too. If you're in that ring and there's a savage pitbull chasing you, would you rather him chase you in the small ring or the Apex? I mean, the regular ring or the Apex?
It's really
Probably
what it comes
regular.
down to.
You probably got a better chance of getting away.
It was so when you watch a pay-per-view, a normal pay-per-view, you see that warning track, that black, like where it's like a black and then the actual cage. That black is where the cage is in the Apex. That's how small it's tiny. And so kind of with the Belal fight, he was able to push him back to the cage and, you know, get him down.
That's right. That's a wrestler's dream. I mean, that's a wrestler's matchup, is to fight in that little cage.
And that's something we have to handicap, guys, when we look at fights. Does Dan Hooker, you know, is he able to fight off someone like Islam Makhachev in a small cage, even though they fought in a big cage?
I like that, though. I can't wait for a fighter to start saying, see me in the Apex then. You caught me in the Octagon, but see me in the Apex.
For real, dude. And so, guys, and then back to the main event. Like Martin said, producer Martin, if you have to, like, keep distance with someone like Derrick Lewis, the Apex is not where you want to be. And Derrick Lewis realized that it was, you know, a slow fight, just like all Derrick Lewis fights are in the beginning. And then he finally realizes this guy's kind of fainting out of all my punches. I'm going to throw a spinning head kick, or I'm going to throw a head kick.
Yeah, that was cool. I like when he does that because it shows improvement. You know, because
he does it, man. He throws knees, he throws head. It's crazy.
Awesome,
Dude.
Yeah.
He's sneaky fast, man. I'm telling you.
Did you see how calm he was too? Like, he did not even move, and he even said that he's different now. Like, he had a bunch of nerves being in his hometown, and it got to him.
Yep.
But he was so stiff. It looked like he got in trouble, and his mom told him to go to his room, and his mom said come out. He was stiff. Scary Derrick Lewis. Shout
out to John Anik, dude, because what he had a sentence that really influenced how what you just said. Actually, I don't even know if you know that he said this. He mentioned on his podcast that Derrick Lewis maybe lost the fight before it started against Gane because everything around the fight, meaning the lights, everything, all the hype around Gane, and just the pressure, like you said, his hometown. Everyone's wants to see him win the belt. And it's not like that in the Apex. There's no fans. It's dead silent. It's him sparring some guy. And tell me, Martin, when he came out, Daukaus, did we both not say, why is he so skinny? Like, did you know there was a 30-pound weight difference?
Like, he needs to go to lightweight.
Dude, light heavyweight. But dude, he was skinny. Like, he was borderline not fat. Like,
yeah, like he's on his way. He's what, 4'5", 5'10". He's on his way of finding his true weight class. As you take the sport serious, especially the heavyweights, they lose weight. Look at Derrick Lewis before, now look at Derrick Slim Lewis now.
No, he has for sure. But no, back to the fight. Throws the head kick, gets him backed up on the winning track, and boom, starts throwing left hook, left hook, right hook, and then catches him, man, sleeps him. And we had guys, listen to this. Producer Martin had Derrick Lewis plus 120 on a parlay. I had Derrick Lewis plus 120 straight. I had Derrick Lewis via knockout plus 165. I had Derrick Lewis round 1 plus 340. All of those hit when he slept Daukaus in the first round. And you can imagine our reaction on Discord.
Dude, I mean, my voice didn't work after celebrating that win because we'll talk about it pretty shortly here soon. But I had a nice parlay, and Derrick Lewis was one of my picks I needed to win. That I wasn't really iffy. It was just almost like, is it gonna happen? And sure enough, it happened.
Dude, man. Yeah, it left me speechless, and also left me one of those where, like we talked about earlier, the books got it wrong, and they got exposed. I just don't see how you expected Daukaus to last 25 minutes without getting knocked out.
Well, how did people expect Daukaus to win? Outstrike Lewis and take him to decision, knock Lewis out. The minute I saw Daukaus connecting, I'm like, those are too weak for a dude like this. I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of Derrick Lewis, but you even said a comment about his head. This guy is just built different. He's just a thick armor guy.
It looks like the bully from
The
SpongeBob.
Butterbean of UFC. You guys remember Butterbean from boxing? It was just like this big heavyweight.
Right.
You looked at him and you took his shirt off. You would think this guy doesn't box. This
Right.
guy is not an athlete.
Right.
This guy can't go 25 minutes. That's Derrick Lewis. He's that scary guy.
No, man, the bully from SpongeBob that puts the pickles under his tongue. That's Derrick Lewis. He did a damn thing, and I love how he does the little slam and the thing, the hump. Man, like, what a national treasure, dude. Derrick Lewis. He got to punch a cop in the face and not get arrested, dude. Living the dream. I'm just joking. Back to blue. Back to blue. Let's go.
It was
all
funny
day.
how he took his cup off on and threw it to the
Yeah,
crowd
what was
and
that? Did you see that, bro?
Yeah.
And did you see the fan, like, yo, like, oh, he, like, hung it up, like,
And Derrick Lewis like stuck his tongue out like,
What
little
the-
nasty,
did you see his
little
NFT
nasty.
it, bro? Make it NFT.
Yeah.
Bro, love Derrick Lewis, man.
What surprising us? What won't he do at the post fight? He's just very creative,
But real quick, I want to touch on what you said. Like, what do the books think? Martin, have you heard of recency bias? Like, people think that the most recent thing that happened is going to happen again.
Uh-huh.
And so, like, when they saw Gon beat the fuck out of Derrick Lewis systematically and tactically, they thought maybe Dawkins had a little bit of that in him, And I just think that there's there's like a huge gap between Cyril Gahn and Chris Daukaus. And so, yeah, we saw what happened.
Oh yeah.
So now can we pull up our bets for the podcast that we gave out? And then we'll go into the real guys. We've been holding on a huge story. Producer Martin has a hell of a story for his parlay. But that'll be in a second here. But we'll recap right now. Any Action Sportscast picks for UFC Lewis Daukaus and how we did. So we had Gerald Meerschaert minus 230, 2.3 units to win one. Hit that. He's got the submission in round 3. We had Cub Swanson via decision plus 160 for 1 unit. Lost that because he knocked him out like in a great fashion. Then we had the over, which didn't hit also, minus 155. And that lost because, like I said, the knockout. Then we had Simon via decision, and we lost that too because of knockout. So that's 3 losses and 1 win. But guys, that's when our night took off. The Tuis Gamrot, the lock of the week, hits. Lewis hits as an underdog. Lewis via TKO hits. Lewis round 1 hits. All of those plus money. Lemos Gamrot parlay since Barcelos got canceled hits. And we end up plus 7.1, 7.2, 7.15 units around that area. Couldn't ask for more. At that point, we were stoked. And I did have one more bet that we'll save for this next slide that we're going to bring up now with producer Martin. That was very fun to watch and just a cap off on a great Saturday night of watching the fights. So, producer Martin, you want to take it from here?
I sure do. Last minute parlay. Sitting there at the poker table. I'm putting together all the good picks. That's how I get my parlays. I put together all the favorites, what I think can hit the over, the unders. And I put together a nice little ticket. I sent it to Effie. I said, yo, what do you think about this? I'm about to put this in. And we ended up putting it in. And we got it right here. I ended up taking Gamrot, the lock of the night. Belal.
Yep.
Lewis. And we haven't talked about this, but the Jake Paul and Taiwan really, I had that on there. Plus a 1,200 parlay that we cashed out big.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nothing like the last leg being a annihilating knockout, dude. Okay, so let's set the stage. We're sitting there watching the fights. We see Derrick Lewis get the knockout. So boom, instantly round 1, via knockout. Derrick Lewis, all plus money. Boom, that hits for us. We all go crazy. But now we need Jake Paul to finish this parlay. And at around the time, it was the Deron Williams Frank Gore fight, yeah?
Uh-huh.
And actually, I was interested in that fight. A lot of people talk shit about all this circus stuff.
Those aren't fight fans, though. Like, as a fight fan, you should enjoy any fight. A backyard fight, your Theo's fighting. I mean, it's just, it's all about content for us.
Were you...
And that was good.
Like, dude, I remember the Kimbo days. Like, tell me you weren't 12 years old watching Kimbo on YouTube. And so, yeah, man. So, obviously, if you don't know, Frank Gore, Hall of Fame running back for the 49ers. Deron Williams, stud for the Utah Jazz. I think he's an Olympian, gold medalist, actually. Mad respect, supreme athletes, like, but they're boxing, so it's just one of those things where it's like, all right, well, what the fuck's going to happen here? And Frank Gore got his ass kicked, kind of, but he actually put up a good fight, but at some points, man, it was...
They didn't look bad, too. I mean,
right,
they looked
dude.
like a prelim card. They looked like a couple amateur boxers.
I love how Deron Williams said, I'm one and done. Like, I'm done, bro. Like, leave it to the fighters.
I know. What do you think about that? Should he just not have kept that? There's some things left unsaid. There's some things that you shouldn't say. And like, why leave a door open with the paycheck waiting? Like, did he? Unless he was completely exhausted, because I've been there where you're just dead. He's making decisions based on how he feels right then. But when he goes home and wakes up, he's gonna be like, "Wow, that was freaking epic. I can't wait for the next one. Sign me up."
But that's the thing, Martin. He has millions and millions and millions of dollars. I wouldn't be surprised if he's worth over $100 million.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Like, yeah, the NBA player contracts are like out of this world. Deron Williams was not worried about money. Like, he's not doing this for like because he's out of money. He's doing this because he wants to. Did you know he's a part investor in Fortis MMA? A lot of
I didn't
big
know that's
MMA.
why he's.
Yeah,
He's just a fan.
Exactly. Yeah. And so yeah, and he respects it. He doesn't like just randomly. Oh, I'm gonna fight like be on fucking Triller or some shit. And now like, shout out to Deron. He looked good. And then Amanda Serrano fought Ariel Helwani. I mean, some girl that ended up looking like Ariel Helwani at the end of the fight. Because goddamn, dude, that was bad.
Dude, she looked like the Hunchback of Notre Dame towards the end of the fight. I mean, I get that's her character. That's part of boxing too. It's just being tough. And if she wasn't as tough, she would have been knocked out maybe round 1, maybe round 3. But punching bag,
dude. Tough. Talk about toughness. Me and you both were like, dude, how is she not dropping? How is this not like over? And she would get clipped and then maybe throw a little bit back, but no, it was a one-sided show the whole time, man. That was wow. Like, I was stunned. Just the damage she was able to take, dude. That was epic.
I don't think that's good though. Like, at what point do you stop the fight? Like, I get that there's that one punch knockout chance, but she wasn't even showing any possibilities. I mean, throw in the towel.
Exactly. Yeah. No, man. Boxing is one of those things where
there's been things where people die like that, like nothing wrong. They just got beat up and then they die.
Can you agree more, man? You gotta throw the towel sometimes. I wish MMA people would throw the towel more.
Oh my gosh! No wonder her. I'm not trying to be insulter, but my gosh, her nose I think grew an extra inch.
That was bad. That was bad. I saw people comparing her nose to when Joanna got that hematoma on her head. Oh yeah. Jimmy Neutron style. Like, goddamn. But dude,
the parlay was crazy though. I mean,
yep, here it comes. So the main event happens. Tyron Woodley versus Jake Paul. Now, Jake Paul. No. Tyron walked out first, huh?
Yes.
And he actually walked out with Jordan Lucas as a rapper. I actually liked the song he walked out to. I was mentioning it when we were watching. I was like, oh, this song's
his
nice.
Face too. It's weird. Like, why was his face so stiff, and why would he look like he was in trouble?
He had headphones on, and he's like rapping next to him. I'm like, that's kind of fucked up. He's like, I don't want to hear your shit. I'll fucking have headphones on. I don't know. That was weird. He had the dude wipe trunks on. Yeah, so Tyron gets the cage, and he actually had love. Did you notice that? He actually had like a big crowd pop because it's in Miami, and American Top Team's from Florida.
Well, dude, the crowd was booing Jake Paul. F Jake Paul. F. Not like 3-4 times. Not once do we hear, let's go, Jake. You know?
And you know why? Or I think I know why.
40 to 60% of those people in that stadium are there to see Jake lose. Yeah. And still selling tickets. That's crazy.
Dude, it's one of those things where he's played his heel correctly. He comes out, the fight starts.
Fighter of the year.
What round did the cut start? Was it round 1 or 2?
Oh, when he got
cut, I think it was round 2, right?
around there.
Okay, so Jake Paul gets cut by a headbutt, and first of all, Tyron really throws more punches in the first round than he did all in the first fight. Did you know that?
No, but he's still missing that spark, man. Like, he's, you remember when the first Jake Paul and Tyron, when it was like a little press conference and they kind of had like a scuffle inside this little like room where he's talking about Tyron's mom.
No, that's my mama. That's
Yeah.
my mama.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you got me fucked
Let's
up.
say
You got me
let's
fucked
say
up.
Jake would
I
have been
remember
like,
that.
let's
That
say
like
they
got
were
me
to
like
fight.
super excited. What are you talking about? Yeah, I remember that.
Let's say they were to fight there. Do you think, and no one's watching, it's Jake and Tyron. Do you think
Yeah.
they fight like how we watched, or
No.
is it just a scramble?
He would get double legged slammed on his head and get.
Well, let's say
fucking
they were to
pounded.
box. Let's say like, hey, fist fight me right here, and they go, all right, deal.
I think Tyron still wouldn't throw.
I think
I
the
Tyron
fight
still
is
wouldn't
more
throw, dude.
like it's just more like press, not like take your time, cautious, like a playbook. You know, boxing's like a playbook. You don't just go out there and wail punches, but that's what people want to see. That's what makes fights entertaining too. You know,
Oh man,
the crowd started booing them. Boo, boo, because
dude, the ref was like, "Oh, we fighting? Oh, we fighting? Oh, we clinching? Oh, are we fighting?" He
Not a
kept
fan of that
yelling at
commentator,
them.
by the
That
way,
was how
too.
funny was that? No, dude, guys, the overall story was Jake Paul salvaged a horrific fight, kind of, with just annihilating and sending Tyron Woodley to the shadow realm. Round was it 5 or round 6?
round 6.
Out of an 8-round fight, guys, I don't want to hear it's fixed. I don't want to hear some conspiracy. My mind, dude, he got slept bad, bodied, dead.
He
Like-
woke up in a different dimension.
We were watching it live, and I said, "Oh no, someone plugged Tyron Woodley back in. Unplug him and plug him back in."
Yeah, someone unplugged him from the metaverse, just midway fighting, just unplugged. Oh my gosh, what a hit from Jake Paul. And when that's the last thing on your ticket, especially a parlay,
Yeah,
it hits different. I don't like to celebrate. I like Tyron, man. I like Tyron.
I like his music.
I like that guy as a character, man. He's entertaining. I F with him from the beginning. You know, even in the UFC, think about this. I just thought about this. In the UFC, when he was a champion, he would get booed, not get the respect he needs. And when he comes to boxing, they love Tyron.
Yeah,
The crowd loves him.
they want him to win,
They want him to win. that's crazy, but
dude. So when it happened, I made like the scream face, like, oh. I was like, oh fuck, because it was like he got hit and then like just gravity took over, like he just like
yeah.
right into the ground, like a tree just got cut, and fucking Jake Paul, his brother Logan Paul, is going crazy, and obviously we're going crazy because we just won a bunch of money, but
I know.
like it
Oh,
was
man,
just
what
so epic, man. Like we said, imagine sitting there chilling with your homies. You have a ticket on Derrick Lewis to get a knockout, and he fucking does it. And then he fucking Jake Paul, the YouTuber kid, a boring ass fight when that sick moment, man.
I would say that night the universe was aligned perfectly that night because everything was just going
I'm
according.
surprised you're here, dude. I'm surprised you're not in like the Bahamas, bro, with that parlay.
I know I was supposed to be in the Bahamas right now.
Like, dude, you hit $200 and the lock of the night and Jake Paul via like murder.
I think the week before I was watching Ariel Hawani's show and they were talking about one of their friends putting in a parlay and that inspired me to just put something crazy together.
No, I think that's going into 2022. We'll be leaning on you for the parlays. Let's just say that.
Well, look, we're going to be on a break for a while. Pretty much covered everything. January 15th, I believe, is the next time is the next UFC event.
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 weeks from now. I don't know what days that is, but yeah, Giga Chikadze versus Calvin Kattar is the next main event. After that, a pay-per-view. So we'll be off, guys. We'll be off YouTube for a while. No UFC to preview. But before we do that, I want to ask my buddy Martin here, producer Martin, a question. And it's really going into the next year. So, Martin, What champion in the UFC right now do you think has the best or biggest chance of losing their belt? I shouldn't say his because it could be a girl too.
Champions right now
that might lose.
Oh, I got one that's number one. I can almost bet my house on.
Okay.
And I'll just say a term and you'll finish for me, okay? The fake champ. I mean,
yeah, guys, yeah. That's so funny.
champ.
I was just assuming that Peter was already the champ when I asked that question, but yeah, Aljo's probably going to lose the belt and lose it to Peter. But yeah, that'll probably wrap it up for today. Any Action Podcast.
Are we going to be uploading between now and January?
Pause. Oh, I got to pause.
Dude, that was pretty interesting what just transpired there. Effie, you want to tell the viewers what just happened?
I mean, there's no way around it, guys. Your boy had to go to the bathroom.
That was
like,
funny,
real bad.
dude.
Like, I'm talking 0
He
to
just
100.
I was
like, we were talking. I was like, yo, I got to go to the bathroom, bro. Like, we got to stop the pod.
And for the people that are watching, this was our first time doing a one-taker. That was one take. Didn't even think about taking other takes. I was just there. And towards the end, we're like, well, that was one take. That's pretty good. But, we were almost there. We were just pretty much recapping.
Fucked it up.
I think just summing up the future of the show. I mean, Effie, do you have any plans of what the viewers can look forward to?
Man, the plan for this podcast for 2022, we're going to get on Spotify. We're going to recap preview every single week the fights. But the main pay-per-views, the big pay-per-views, especially the ones in Vegas, guys, we're going to be on this trip. We're going to be at the press conferences, at the weigh-ins, asking fans who they have. Just getting UFC, stuff out there. Super excited. We got producer Martin here. I'm telling you guys, he's a wizard. Can't wait to work with him. And
I'm all about content too, so just wait till what I got going for these guys. I mean, I'm going to be putting out some videos until January 15th or 18th is the break until UFC comes.
Yeah, so there's no fights, guys, until, the 15th of next year. So we're going to have a preview show about our predictions for 2022 and how the UFC is going to fold out. But we're also going to talk about college bowl season. Guys, we're not just betting MMA. We're betting NFL, hockey, NHL, NBA, college basketball, and definitely college football. So I'm just excited, guys. Thanks for all the support, all the views. Guys, really appreciate it. It's been so much fun here with my buddy Martin.
Yes, sir.
Chopping it up.
So we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Sportscast. I'm your producer Martin, joined by your local Las Vegas handicappers, Effie.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?